This is the Tallahassee Business Podcast, bringing you engaging conversations with influential members of the community that you need to know. This episode is brought to you by The Health Network. The Health Network is an innovative advertising platform with more than 30 digital monitors and almost a dozen different medical waiting rooms throughout Tallahassee. With a diverse mix of medical practices, The Health Network provides advertisers unmatched visibility to a highly engaged audience while directly connecting with target consumers through static and video ads. To learn how your business can effectively reach over 60,000 patients and guests per month, visit thnadvertising.com.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Sue Dick with the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, bringing you our podcast for the Chamber. And this is an exciting meeting for me, really heartfelt. I'm sitting here with our current chairman, Jay Smith. Jay, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here as always, Sue.
I feel like we've spent just about every day together in the last year, and it's probably still not enough for everything that you have done, you and your company and your team members, for the Chamber and for the community and for me personally and our team members here at the Chamber. You've been just tremendous. So this is my way of being able to say thank you. Thanks for all the time and resources you've given, and I know it's been quite a year. So thank you, Jay.
Well, thank you as well. The team here at the Chamber, as always, has been just outstanding. 2021, as we all know, has been a rather interesting year, and with great leadership and great teammates, we can accomplish anything.
Well, we are gearing up for the start of our new fiscal year, which will be in January, and we're going to talk about some of that as well. But before we get into that and too much of the Chamber activity, I think as a Chamber of Commerce, we have a strong board of directors that are business owner and community leaders, nonprofit executives, and I think it's important for our listeners to always maybe realize what the Chamber really is and who is behind the Chamber. So I'd love for people to remind them of you and your family and the legacy that you all have in our community, and maybe kind of walk us through that generational appeal of the Smith family in our community.
Well, thank you. As I've told this story several times, but I am the fifth generation of the Smith family to live here in this great city of Tallahassee and Leon County. My grandfather's family was heavy into farming, and we had a large portion of the land out by TCC and Messer Park. He then had one of the first motels here in town, the Cactus Motel, which is still out there on West Tennessee Street. He built that and was building things for people on the side while he was working two other jobs, along with running the motel. And one of his good friends said, Blocky, you're really good at this. Why don't you start a construction company? So from there, in 1958, he officially started Ajax. And from there, the story is pretty unique. Again, third generation operated, multi-generation employees. And, for 63 years, we've been a part of this community, and just a lot of great stories and a lot of great memories by this community, what it stands for, and what we've been able to be a part of.
I think if people drive around or walk around, they'll see the Ajax sign up at sites. Maybe letting our listeners know a little bit of some of the projects currently taking place, and then maybe if I can, maybe ask you, what's your favorite project that you see in the community that been a part of your family that really just kind of touches you, because you do get around a lot and are able to kind of look at the landscape.
Well, currently we're finishing up we've completely rebuilt the state park in front of the Capitol. The House and Senate parking garage had to be redone, and then we built a new park on top of both of those. So that's a 4+ year project that was really, really unique and has really changed the dynamic of downtown. We're currently wrapping up the Florida State Student Union. That'll be completed in 2022. Again, a game changer for Florida State's campus and what it's going to do for the student population there. So that's really unique. We just finished the student services facility for Florida A&M University. Again, they had multiple buildings on campus where students were having to go to student services. Now it's all in one new building right in the heart of campus. So again, changing that dynamic in the middle of that. And we've got some private work that we're doing. We're working on the new Alpha Chi Omega House on Florida State's campus, and just outside of town, we're doing a McFadden Nature Center, a really unique project that it's going to it's South Georgia, North Florida, really economic impact driver for that area. But over the years we've restored 20 different projects on the National Register of Historic Places downtown. So converting those to old homes into office buildings, building some really unique office buildings here in town, like Capital City Consulting here in the recent. But every year you get to be challenged by a new project. Probably the most significant ones are the ones that you've changed people's lives. So any type of K-12 project that you're a part of, you really get to see that it's really changing kids' lives, and so you're just a part of that education component. But the design and construction is really important in how that impacts those things. So all the school projects we get to be a part of are pretty unique, and we able to do stuff for some charitable organizations where we donate a lot of the services for those, and those type projects, which aren't very large projects, but again, the impact they can have is really significant.
Well, it makes a difference. You're working on the Tallahassee Police Department headquarters, which will be a game changer. I know we've talked about that often, and we're in the middle of a kind of a master planning stage. But you all reach out to other states. So how wide is that net?
So Ajax covers from North Carolina down to Key West. So we do projects throughout all of those areas. So we have 7 offices in Florida, 2 in Georgia, and 2 in South Carolina. And so from those, we're employing about 200 employees in those areas, but doing construction management at risk and design build. So we on a project we'll have up to 400 men and women on each one of those projects. But the Ajax team is mostly on the management side of things. But we're also part of the SDO Building Group, which is the largest privately held construction company in the United States. So as a group, we're going to do about $10 billion in 2021, and we cover from the West Coast, from Seattle, Washington, down here to Florida, and then in Canada and Europe. So it's a unique thing because you're able to really work with groups that are doing things really different from what we're doing, but together as a whole. It's a great organization that's is really we have about 4,000 employees amongst our entire group.
Well, and I think first of all, that's just amazing, and it's one of those scenarios that I share with my other chamber execs across the country. I have the unique opportunity of having companies here in Tallahassee that could be located anywhere, but the leadership and the owners of the company are here because they love this community, and it's a win-win. As a chamber of commerce, we benefit from that leadership and that servant leadership, and the community does as well. And I think we've had this conversation. People are here because of the quality of life, and it's a great place to be.
That's
and
exactly
we can do
right.
business globally.
Right. I mean, that's why we have those offices everywhere, but our headquarters are still right here, and it's kind of the rock for our company, and so that's where it will be.
Well, and as I said, we've benefited, and I think what we want to do is also, as we opened, we're kind of coming in on a landing on your 12 months serving as chair. We did a lot of planning leading into the year, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to summarize to our members and really the community the work that you have led as well with our board of directors. And as we look back, we had a lot of goals for the year. We had a lot of unknowns, but would love to ask what do you view as we've most accomplished that you had laid out for us. You were very strategic when you took over as chairman. No surprise. But highlighting some of those things we outlined that we wanted to accomplish and where we've landed.
Well, I think you, of course, trying to work year to year with different chairmen has always been a challenge. So what we started to do, of course, with my past chairman that I followed, Beth Coram, and then some future leadership behind me, including Sammy Dixon, is really kind of lay out a game plan where we can set an agenda, and then from year to year it takes a little bit of tweak, but we have the same goal and mission, and so it's not a change from year to year. We have a clear focus of where we're going. So as you know, we have some 3 key strategy areas that we wanted to focus on with a heavy emphasis of business advocacy, overseeing the business climate, talent and jobs, and then the community and prosperity, which is a newer focus within the chamber that we wanted to impact. But how do you really make an impact within each one of those? How are you measuring their success? So the development of the community scorecard was something that, I know you and I are very proud that we're able to, pull in data into a simple month-to-month scorecard where we can see the numbers and how are we doing as a community. And it's not just a chamber-driven focus, but we wanted to put the spotlight on. We gathered that information from our sources with an OEV, with DEO, with a lot of data that's already being projected, but it's not in one easy space for everybody to view. So that community scorecard was the initial thing we rolled out in January of this year. And we went to City Commission, we went to County Commission, we went to the school board. We worked closely with Cap City Chamber, with the Big Bend Minority Chamber. And we really said, this is something as a community we need to rally behind. First, it starts with jobs. We believe as a chamber, as a Greater Tallahassee Chamber, that jobs are the true impact. If we can drive every individual have an opportunity to have a job, and then for them to be able to grow within that is the job number one for us. But then there are the things that are all connected to jobs, being education. So really working alongside the Leon County School Board, and how are we impacting? How can we help them prepare students so when they get to kindergarten they're ready, and then following that track into third grade reading scores, of course high school graduation, and then the post-secondary attainment, which was something that we really want to focus on, that we're training individuals to then go into the workforce. And then the community and prosperity line really at the bottom, but they're all connected. Crime rate, the GDP numbers, of livability within our community. All those metrics are all tied together. So really that's kind of those three focus areas that we called upon, and we said, hey, we're going to meet with the city manager, the county administrator, and the superintendent of schools on a regular basis. Let's talk through this, work closely with the sheriff and the police chief, and it's a community plan, and we're gonna rate ourselves at the end of the year. Have we changed the dynamics within those numbers? And if we're not, then we just take a step back and say, all right, what do we need to do differently? But again, that's one of the unique things I think that really started the year off. That then the programs that we're gonna hopefully talk about here in a second, that all fell in behind that.
Well, and I think we've got some shining programs that came out of that. And I think for our listeners, hopefully they have seen it in the information that we're pushing out, because there's ways for them to get involved. And I know that even during our board of directors meetings or our committee meetings, we are trying to hold ourselves accountable as far as what we've tried to accomplish. And I know, and you've guided us to make sure we do that, always asking the question. So maybe a couple of the programs that you look at within the year that you think probably have the greatest potential for us to expand upon and make the most impact as we go into 2022.
Well, the first, the one that's, it's kind of the blocking and tackling of what we do is the business climate. So Richard Darabi, a civil engineer here in town with Moore Bass, led our business advocacy and business climate group, and he worked so closely with the city and county on ways to work closely with neighborhoods to improve how we're moving forward as a community, that we're doing it in a smart way. One, we're not hindering businesses from growing and impacting them and causing costs to be driven to them, but also not ruining the neighborhood uniqueness we have. We've got some historical neighborhoods and really some strong associations within those neighborhoods. So how do we work together to achieve smart growth? So Richard and that team, that committee, has done an amazing job. And again, those are those ones attending all those meetings and the prep meetings to get that done. So one, those are the ones that you don't hear about that have done an excellent job. And then Terry Ard has done a tremendous job as it comes to talent, and we're working with Corey Melton. They have really enhanced where we started with our talent plan and our community web portal, to how we were connecting businesses and individuals seeking job opportunities. And then this year with their community talent plan, that they have worked with multiple partners, for profits, not for profits, and really then the education component to how are we connecting students from middle school to high school through Lively, through TCC, Florida State and Florida A&M, and connecting them with the the individuals who have the job opportunities. So really creating that dynamic, which it sounds like it's simple, but it's not. I mean, we have a lot of people that are working really hard, but a lot of times we were running in different directions. And so through the leadership of Terry and Corey, they were able to bring those groups together and really develop a plan. Now that, we were meeting this week on the implementation of that draft plan, which is close to being finalized. So we'll have some true action plans. We're going to go get grants to support those organizations and really challenge each other to keep moving forward. So that on the talent side has been tremendous. And then Sharon James, she was tasked of our first year of community prosperity, and really setting that forward. And people are like, what is community prosperity? And what is a chamber really, what's their interaction there? Well, the businesses employ, we have 60,000 employees that are a part of the chamber of businesses that are a part of the chamber. And so those men and women have families, they're engaged in this community, and so we needed to find a way that we could improve all of the community from Texas Street to the Leon County North border all the way to Georgia. How are we engaging and enhancing all those areas? And so we, it sounds silly, but we had listening sessions. So we went throughout the community and listened and hear, try to find out ways that we could help each area of the community and what businesses can do. A simple thing we did was, wasn't simple, but it's an easy thing for business to do, is to support the kindergarten classrooms in all of our school systems. So we focused on Title I schools first, and then we were able to almost support every single kindergarten classroom. And it's not just the school, but each individual classroom. So we connected businesses with the teacher of those classrooms and asked them what they needed, what volunteer hours they needed, what reading opportunities, what tools did they need in those classrooms that we could support them, one, to help that teacher, and two, show the students in each one of those classrooms that we care and that there are opportunities here and that people outside of their community care, and that we're looking to improve long-term that third grade reading score dynamic. So as we go forward, I know we're going to now take on those Title I schools and start following those kindergartners through first grade, second grade, and third grade. So from year to year now, we're going to take on the additional year. So we hope to have every Title I classroom eventually to have kindergarten, first, second, and third, all of those classrooms adopted. So again, all of these things are work in progress, and we're improving upon them, we're learning upon them. But each one of those areas is some really, really amazing leadership and amazing opportunities for our community to be changed.
Well, it's been a full agenda for the year. Looking back on it, and this kind of our exit interview to the chairman, you wear so many hats and are involved in so many, not just the chamber. I know you personally have been involved in a lot of other boards of directors in the community, giving back. Is there anything that just really surprised you now that you're 11 and a half months at the end of this, that other than the big COVID impact, but is there anything that surprised you coming in, or what was the unknown that you now know that our listeners would find interesting?
I think when you're in the middle of it, you don't recognize that that people don't know exactly what the business community is doing on a daily basis. So just being able to interact with on the kindergarten classroom level, it kind of shows the engagement that we're doing already, but it's just highlighted and put it that every business can do something pretty simple by just engaging with a classroom next to them, next to their business, and their members want to be a part of it. The other great thing that I've been able to witness more of this year is Access Tallahassee, which is the younger employees within inside of each business that are engaged through the chamber. Access, led by Philip Browning, has just done an amazing job this year. I was able to attend some of their coffee networking events, and I was blown away. I saw young adults who I knew as young children now that are young adults, and they're now in the professional world, and they're just doing amazing things, and getting to interact with them and feeling that energy and seeing where the future is heading is really exciting. I mean, the little library program that Access kicked off this year, again, is just a great opportunity to engage and to impact communities that don't have access to reading books. His mentorship program that they're going to be starting next year is going to be a tremendous opportunity as well. So, I mean, that is just a sense of a bright future ahead, that that the young leaders that we're engaging and either encouraging to come back from universities and coming back to Tallahassee, or nurturing the talent that's coming out of Florida A&M and FSU and getting them to stay here and showing them the opportunities those are exciting things for me to see.
Well, and I know you've endorsed it. I know Luke Thompson on your team is very involved as a young professional. So you not only talk about it, you promote it as well within Ajax. And I think that's what's important. And we've got to engage the next generation. I think that's why it was so important for us to stand up our Access Tallahassee program and the advisory board. So again, anyone who has employees or wants to get involved, please do with our Access program. You can find it on our website, as well as all of our other programming. So as we wrap up here a little bit, your message to the community, or as you get ready for 2022, what do you see on the horizon for our community and opportunities?
Well, as everyone knows, the national politics kind of get loud and kind of shout out what's going on, but what we need to focus on is what are we doing locally? What are we doing as leaders in the community to make that impact? What are we doing it for the next generation? So, I'm at the stage where I have 3 daughters, one in college, one about to graduate high school, and one that's about to go into high school. She's finishing up her 8th grade year. So what are we doing for them? And if you see something, then you need to get engaged. You can't just talk about making change. It takes involvement, it takes, some hard work. And it takes, a team of getting people together. One of the big things we always like to say in leadership here at the Chamber is we're going to break these silos down. I mean, we've got to get everybody playing in the same sandbox together to really change the dynamic. You can't do it alone. And so that, what we were able to do this year with the other 2 chambers coming together on some really significant things, like the Northeast Gateway support, I think is, it's a sign of how this community can come together and will come together when there's a challenge ahead of it. And so, I'm look forward to, we got some significant elections coming up in 2022, and I can't wait to engage with all those running and learn more about what they see as the future of how we grow our community and how we provide jobs and provide opportunities for everybody in this community.
Well, we're gearing up for it. We want everybody to hopefully come out, mark their calendar, and see the official passing of the gavel on January 12th at 8 a.m. At the Civic Center, where you will be passing the gavel to Sammy Dixon, and we will not skip a beat.
That's right.
We'll keep the pace going. So, Jay, thanks for everything. Thanks. It's always a family affair, so thank you to Bree for, we kind of took up a lot of your time on off hours, but we also know that it's always a team effort from our leadership and their family. So thanks to both of you as well, and we'll look forward to a successful 2022.
It's going to be an amazing year. Sammy Dixon's going to do a great job, and can't wait to see what we accomplish next year.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.